Ever felt like your laptop was running a marathon while you were just trying to balance your books? Like, every time you click Run Report in QuickBooks, you're waiting, and maybe even making a cup of tea in the meantime? Or worse, getting that dreaded spinning wheel of doom? Yeah, you're not alone. We've all been there. You're trying to keep your business finances in order, but your tech is holding you back. And let's be honest, nobody has time for that. Think about it, you're juggling invoices, expenses, payroll, maybe even inventory. You're trying to get a clear picture of your business's financial health, but your laptop is chugging along like an old steam engine. You're probably thinking, is it just me? Is QuickBooks just that demanding? Or is my laptop about to spontaneously combust? Well, the answer is, it's probably a bit of both. QuickBooks, especially when dealing with large datasets or running multiple reports, can be a resource hog. And if your laptop isn't up to the task, you're going to experience slowdowns, crashes, and a whole lot of frustration. But don't worry, you're not doomed to a life of financial purgatory. Today, we're diving deep into the world of laptops and QuickBooks, and figuring out exactly what kind of machine you need to keep your books running smoothly. We're going to break down the specs, the considerations, and the myths so you can make an informed decision and finally say goodbye to those frustrating slowdowns. Let's start with the basics. QuickBooks, at its core, is a database application. It stores and processes a lot of information, and like any database application, it relies on several key components of your computer to perform efficiently. These components are your processor, your RAM, your storage, and your operating system. First up, the processor or CPU. Think of it as the brain of your computer. It's responsible for executing instructions and performing calculations. For QuickBooks, you don't need a super-powered gaming CPU, but a decent multi-core processor is essential. Ideally, you're looking for an Intel Core i5 or an AMD Ryzen 5 or higher. These processors offer a good balance of performance and efficiency. They'll allow QuickBooks to handle complex calculations and run multiple tasks without breaking a sweat. Avoid anything lower than an Intel Core i3 or an AMD Ryzen 3, especially if you're dealing with a large company file or running multiple applications simultaneously. These processors might struggle to keep up, leading to noticeable slowdowns. Next, let's talk about RAM or random access memory. Think of RAM as your computer's short-term memory. It's where your computer stores data that it needs to access quickly. The more RAM you have, the more data your computer can hold in its short-term memory, which translates to faster performance. For QuickBooks, 8 GB of RAM is the absolute minimum, but 16 GB is highly recommended, especially if you're working with larger company files or running multiple applications at the same time. If you often have other programs running, such as a web browser with multiple tabs, spreadsheets, or email, 16 GB of RAM will make a significant difference in performance. Now, storage. This is where you store your operating system, your applications, and your data. For QuickBooks, you have two main options: a traditional hard disk drive, HDD, or a solid-state drive, SSD. While HDDs are cheaper and offer more storage space, SSDs are significantly faster. And when it comes to QuickBooks, speed is key. An SSD will dramatically improve the performance of QuickBooks, especially when loading large company files or running reports. It will also make your entire operating system feel snappier. Ideally, you'll want an SSD with at least 256 GB of storage. This will give you enough space for your operating system, QuickBooks, and other essential applications. If you have a lot of data, you can consider a larger SSD or supplement it with an external HDD for storing less frequently accessed files. And finally, the operating system. QuickBooks is compatible with both Windows and Mac OS. The choice between the two ultimately comes down to personal preference. However, it's important to ensure that your operating system is up to date. QuickBooks is regularly updated to take advantage of the latest operating system features and security patches. Running an older operating system can lead to compatibility issues and security vulnerabilities. Now, let's talk about some other factors to consider. Screen size and resolution are important, especially if you're going to be spending a lot of time working on your laptop. A larger screen with a higher resolution will make it easier to view and work with spreadsheets and reports. A 15-inch screen with a resolution of 1920 by 1080 pixels, Full HD, is a good starting point. Portability is another important consideration. If you're going to be traveling frequently, you'll want a lightweight and compact laptop. But if you're primarily going to be using your laptop at your desk, you can opt for a larger and more powerful machine. And finally, budget. Laptops can range in price from a few $100s to several $1,000s. It's important to set a budget before you start shopping and stick to it. You don't need to break the bank to get a laptop that can handle QuickBooks. There are plenty of affordable options that offer excellent performance. Let's address a few common misconceptions. Some people believe you need a dedicated graphics card for QuickBooks. This is not true. QuickBooks is not a graphics-intensive application. The integrated graphics that come with most modern processors are more than sufficient. Another misconception is that you need a high-end laptop to run QuickBooks. While a powerful laptop will certainly improve performance, you don't need a top-of-the-line machine. A mid-range laptop with the right specifications will be more than adequate. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.